Okay, so we are looking at page 155, number 12, and then number 13. So, for number 12, it says, without using technology, determine which of the following has the same value of cos 297 degrees. So let's first sketch this out. And we want to think about, we're going to have to think about the cos law. Now, cos 297, it's going to be in quadrant number 4. And according to our CAS law, it would be positive. So cos 297 would circle around and would be in here. And we need to know this is our reference angle. Our reference angle would be 360 degrees minus 297 degrees, because the reference angle is always made with the x-axis. So this would be 63 degrees. So in quadrant 4, cos 297 is the equivalent of cos of 63, and it would be positive in value. So that's important to think about. So what we're going to do is we're going to check all of these ones to see which one would work. So looking at A says cos of 27 degrees. Well, we know this one won't work because they don't have the same reference angle. Cos 27 is very different from cos 63. And cos 63 is our reference angle. So that one will not work. Okay. B, cos of 117 degrees. Well, 117 degrees is going to be in quadrant number 2. Now, if you do your math, you can determine that it will also have a reference angle of 63 degrees. However, in quadrant 2, cos 17 degrees is going to be a negative of, it will be a negative value of cos 63 because it is in the second quadrant. And that's what the CAS law tells us. Okay, so they are not equivalent. So that one does not work. Okay, our third one, negative cos 243 degrees. So I'm going to get rid of this now that we understand that that one's going to be negative. And I'm going to sketch in 243. Oops. First, I'm going to redraw my x-axis. Sorry about that. Overzealous with the eraser. Anyways, so negative 243 goes in here. Its reference angle is also 63 degrees. Now, here's where it becomes interesting. Cos 243, cos of 243 would be equal to negative cos 63. Now, it's also got a negative sign. So we can look at this, and cos is negative in quadrant 3. That's what the CAST rule tells us. So minus a minus, so minus a negative cos 63 degrees. That minus a minus will give us a positive cos 63 degrees. So this one works. Okay, now let's just check out D. D says negative cos of 63 degrees. Well, we've already determined right off the bat that cos of 297 is equal to cos of 63, and it's positive. So it does not equal the same as a positive value of cos of 63. The other thing to think about is in quadrant 1, cos is always also positive, right? So this one does not work. So the correct answer would be C. Okay, so it's really about wrapping your heads around the CAS law and how that works with the quadrants. Okay, now question 13 is talking about, it is kind of drawing your awareness to the fact that each value, each trig ratio is going to have the same value in more than one quadrant. And that's what the CAS law helps us. So what you have to determine is for the angles A, B, and C, you want to find the other angle that has the same value. So if we're looking at cos A is equal to cos of 217 degrees. Well, so what we're going to do is we think about the CAS law. Now, 217 is going to be in quadrant 3, and in quadrant 3, cos is negative. So the other quadrant where cos is negative is in quadrant 2. So this and this would have to be the same, same reference angle. So this one was 217 degrees. So the reference angle would be 217 minus 180 degrees, which is equal to 37 degrees. So that means that A is going to be 180 degrees minus that reference angle, right? Because we want it to go from here to here, right? So when we do that, 180 minus 37, and we get 143. I'm going to write that in a different color. 143. Okay, so that's A. The second one we have is going to be tan of B equals tan 298 degrees. So again, we're going to sketch, not like that. That's a really weird sketch. So tan 298 is going to be in this quadrant here. And let's just think about the CAS law. In quadrant 4, where tan of 298 is, tan is negative. The other quadrant where tan is negative is quadrant 2. So the reference angle and the reference angle have to be the same. So the reference angle here is 360 minus 298, which is equal to no, it's not that. Looking at the wrong one. It's equal to 360 minus 298. Why don't I just do that math? 360 minus 298 is 62 degrees. So that's the reference angle there. So that means that, so our reference angle is 62 degrees. So B is going to equal 180 minus 62 degrees, which is equal to 118 degrees. Okay, so far I have two of them. I've got A and I have B. Okay, now the last one I need to do is C. And it says that sine of C is equal to sine of 7 degrees. So again, looking at my quadrants and thinking about my CAS law, okay? So sine of 7 would be in here. The other quadrant where sine is positive is in this one. So my reference angle is 7 degrees. It's the same over here. So angle C is going to be 180 degrees minus 7 degrees, which is 173 degrees. So now I have all three. So let's just scroll back and see what I got. I have A is 143 plus B is 118 plus C, which is 173. So this is A plus B plus C. And they all add up to 434 degrees. Just making sure. Yeah. So it's really about thinking about what is the other quadrant where that's going to give me the same value. And thinking about, okay, well, in the quadrant, the original one is positive or negative, and then figuring it out. You also need to make sure that you're finding the right